you doing? We're just looking over the video stream. Sat just did a little promo. How you doing? Lawrence McKenna, you doing fine? Good. So this is Scooberlicious Ultimate, and if you're not familiar with the show, this is really about bringing athletes that play at a high level between the lines, as well as athletes that are playing the sport at a high level outside the lines. And I met Sat during a couple tournaments, and we talked about a variety of different things. It ran the gamut from buzz bullets to Club Junior to a variety of different things. And I said, hey, you want to come on the show? And he's like, absolutely. So it was very funny. I said we were looking at maybe the April-May time frame, and something happened, and he jumped all over it and wanted to come on. And I'm excited because this is a gentleman in doing the pre-interviews. He has a journey. It was really interesting. It's taken him back and forth from Japan to Canada to Japan to the United States. He's in the Bay Area, and he's here to really just chat and talk about his story. So, welcome. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
so,
you.
お
はようございます。日本の皆さん。
There we go. So I want to say good afternoon to the people in the United States and good morning to the people in Japan who are tuning in. How you doing? So look, we had a few pre-interviews to get us to this point. I really want to thank you for the time for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So the continuation of our conversation. So let's just start before we jump into the depth here. I met you in the beginning of the year at the People's Hat Tournament, and you had your Club Junior banner out there, and you were handing out materials. And I'm like, this guy's very interesting. And you end up winning that tournament. I see you at Boerho, and you end up winning that tournament. And I just saw how you played. You played with a level of calm and grace and confidence. And it was really nice to see. So you started the new year quite well. You won like 2 or 3 tournaments. And by the way, how did you play at? You played at Throwback, and you did well at that one as well.
Yes, yeah. Our team won the Grandmaster division.
Yep.
So I played with Aviators, which is consists of
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, Santa Barbara team, like all the ex-Condos players. Yeah, I get to play with them. It was fun.
Yeah, very nice. So I like that. So how did you like Throwback as the tournament goes? This inaugural season.
Oh yeah, I think it was great. The best thing I found is that the line regulation field, the beach regulation field is actually much bigger than like usual San Francisco Beach League field, and then it's every single field was lined with tape, so it's very comfortable to play. So.
Yeah, I was due down there, and I pulled an old man injury, pulled a hammy at the tournament up in Davis. So I was looking to play out in Throwback. Heard a lot of good things, and I wanted to experience firsthand. But I'm glad that they got some good reviews. So let's go back, because it intrigued me in our original conversations when you were with the Buzz Bullets. So take me up to what you were doing before you got involved with Buzz Bullets. You were playing in college?
Yes, yeah. I started playing Ultimate in Japan in college, and I played for 4 years with college team, and I graduated college, and then I joined Buzz Bullets.
Go ahead. I'm just adjusting the sound, making sure everything is good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So then I played for Buzz Bullets for 2 years. We won the Japanese national twice. It was 1999 and 2000. And then I moved to Vancouver, Canada, and played with Furious George. Then we won the USU Nationals in 2002. So yeah, I was very lucky to play with such great teams.
2 great teams. So little head of us. So talk to me about when you went to Buzz Bullets. And Buzz Bullets is owned by a garage door company.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting. What's that origin about? They just happened to say they had some players that they wanted to start a team, so it was a very casual start?
Yes. So I think the fastest start is 1988, there are players, just one player who works for the garage door company, and he just started like a club or maybe just a group, with his coworkers, and then every year he invited to ultimate Frisbee player to work for that company, and then step by step, and then at some point they get bigger and they officially recognized by the company.
Really?
Yep.
So there was a casual group like a softball team, and all of a sudden you got to a level of proficiency that the company started acknowledging what is a marketing tool? I mean, how do you get acknowledged by a company?
Well, I think the company thinks it can be like a marketing tool a little bit, but most of I think most idea is like the company wants to help their workers to be like happy, to be happy, or to have happy life. Yes,
interesting.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they must be very pleased that all of a sudden. I mean, I'd be interested to have a talk with the president of marketing, going, we saw a bump in our garage sales based on the success of the Buzz Bullets.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just Ultimate Frisbee is still not big in Japan, minor sport. So it's not like they won like a soccer or professional soccer league, right? So it's not big marketing, but I think it's still great thing that like their own team won like a national championship in any sport.
So you have an evolution. You went from a casual team to all of a sudden you get good. What was the impetus? What was the creation of we can be better or we're going to be better? Where you moved from casual to professional?
They officially recognized by the company in 1995 or something like that. And that time, I think they have enough players to compete like at nationals level. I think they finished like a third in nationals. And then 4 years later, when I joined Buzz Bullets in 1999. 5 players joined to Buzz Bullets, including me. But 4 other players really good, like a top level player. So they brought like their mindset or their like experience to the team, and then they brought up the team to like a really top level.
So would you consider yourself a top level at that player at that time?
No.
You were not part of that?
No.
So what was your arc of, I mean, you're a very fine player. I mean, you're in demand as far as your skills go. So what was the catalyst in that development before you moved to Vancouver that, really put you in a position to be?
Right. So, when I joined Buzz Bullets, I'm the like almost bottom player of the team. So like everything I see or I practice is great for me. So I just try to learn everything from them or from the team, from other players, and then practice hard. And then first year is still like I'm struggling. In the second year, I'm still like learning, but I felt like I found the right role for me, and I felt I contributed to win the nationals. I think that's a great moment for me, and then I think it encouraged me to move or to next level, which is going to Vancouver, Canada, to play Furious George.
So I want to come back around after your excursion to Vancouver to talk about compare and contrast the sort of cultures and the approach to the game. So you happen to be good enough to want to go to, because you purposely went to Vancouver. Wasn't you were transferred? Was it, I want to prove myself, I want to experience North American Ultimate, or was it like you had a free ticket to the States and you happened to go? So what brought you there?
Yeah, well, I don't really remember what I was thinking about at that time, but I think I just loved Ultimate and I just want to play the higher level like every year. So I want to challenge like myself or everything. So and just I talked to a couple of people and I looked at a couple of teams and I found the Vancouver, Canada, and Furious George is get team in terms of like visa situation, because I'm a foreigner, so it's not easy to just stay in foreign country. Right. Vancouver has like a certain visa to stay, which usually doesn't offer. And also Vancouver is actually close to Japan, like the closest and the biggest city to Japan in the North America.
Very good.
So yeah.
Seems very logical. So, but you picked. I mean, you didn't pick like a lowly club team. I mean, you went to.
Yeah, because I played with Buzzbirds at that time, so it's later high level. So then I wanted to play higher level.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plus, you probably had street cred. I mean, coming from Japan probably made it intriguing for them to have you at least try out.
Yes. Yeah. I had to try it out, and I luckily made it the team. So I was very happy about that. So yeah.
So, you come from the Japanese culture, you're into a situation that is, correct me if I'm wrong, it was sort of based on some of our conversation is, and we actually have, should we call security? Because rarely do we have anybody watching the show. Security.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you go to Vancouver, what was the approach to the game what was evident about when you were playing with Furious George that was new to you?
Oh yeah, the biggest difference is their playing style. Their playing style was very different from Buzzbird's playing style. Buzzbirds had a strong discipline, and people might think that's complicated, like a strategy. Then Furious George, of course, has a strategy, but it's kind of simple, and also they use their athleticism a lot. So like each individual player has more freedom to play what they want to do on the field. In Japan, like Buzzbirds, every single player has a role and what they should do.
Very narrow role.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a
system.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they both have a system.
Yeah, but a different system.
Yes, exactly. And so, I think you were talking about in one of our pre-interviews is that it was, I mean, they were more athletic. That was their system. They played to their athletes.
Yes, they used their advantage.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And Japanese is culturally they they like the skills versus the athleticism or power.
So is that a cultural thing, or was that playing to your strength? Or both?
Yeah, maybe both. But I think now it's cultural thing because we don't have athleticism, which is the American people or most of the other countries people have. Then I think it turned like turn in to like their culture.
Right. So you're in this situation, has a more open style or a different type of system. Was it easy for you to adapt to it, or was there some challenges?
Yeah, it's very challenging because I don't have that as a citizen. I'm the shortest, smallest person on the team while I was in Frisbee. I was not the smallest player in Japan, but here, like almost every team I go and play is almost the smallest person. And then they use their like height or power or athleticism, which is really hard. And I can understand in my mind, okay, this is what they are doing. Okay, I need to do this, but it's very challenging.
So it's very interesting because you can look at the NBA. There's a lot of players who are fantastic players, but their strength might be because they're short in stature. You can create an isolation situation where there's big versus tall, and it's an easy bucket. So what did you do to did you just play more handler? Or did you do a lot of squats to jump higher? I mean, what did you do to mitigate some of the challenges?
Well, I did both. Okay. Yeah, I even tried to get bigger, to eat a lot of food. The stretch. Didn't work well. It didn't work well, but of course I did a squat or other like strength thing to jump high. But I also used my quickness, which came from actually my height or like a shortness,
right?
Because tall or big person has to move like a big.
Exactly.
But I'm small. I'm like short. My hand is short. My leg is short. So I can go quicker. I have to go quicker, but at the same time I can go quicker. Sometimes I can go quicker than tall people. When tall people go one step, he can go really far, but same time he has to go really far. Then I can go 2 steps while he's taking 1 step, and I can change the direction.
Exactly.
So that's something I learned, and I have to use.
So did Furious have to adapt their offense to your style to maximize your play?
No.
They didn't. They didn't even. Okay.
No. So again, so at the time I joined Furious George, I was the bottom player. So they never, adapt. Yeah, they don't have to. They shouldn't. I have to adapt it. I have to adjust for the team. Yep.
So, and then you end up winning U.S. Nationals.
Yes.
How was that? How was that experience? I mean,
that
must have been very satisfying.
Yeah, it was great. Well, so many players, so many great athletes, just trying to get one spot. I know that other teams are so good, other teams' players are so good, so many athletes there, and then my first year of Furious George, we lost to the semis, and which was sad, but that made me realize how big the U.S. national title was, and then next year, finally we won, and then it was amazing.
So this sort of brings up the point I wanted to talk about is that when a team loses, they're hungrier. And so what was that like? Because I look at Canadian, I say they're aggressive. You said got a different energy. We'll talk about that. But what was that culture like when they came away and they didn't make it to the summit and they had to recalibrate and get psyched up for the next year? Can you describe what that energy was like?
Yeah, well, you're right. The losing makes them hungry for sure. So I think while they're losing at the semi, definitely encourage them work harder next year. Yeah, well, yeah, I was like 25 years old. Other players like over 30 years old. When I lost again, everybody cried, which is like 30 years old people crying for the ultimate Frisbee. Yeah, from Satoru person. From Satoru person.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Oh, that's
objectively you would say so.
Yeah, but we're into it, so it's worse. Yeah, so.
No, in context, it's very sad. From the outside world, it's like, what? This is Frisbee. Isn't a dog involved? Why are you crying?
It's amateur, right?
Exactly, very much so.
Yeah,
This is why we're here, because there's more to it than just.
Yes, yeah.
So you end up losing. What would have been the Buzzballers approach? I mean, what would have been culturally the approach if you end up losing and come up short? Would it have been the same, we're going to gather ourselves and be better next year? Or would it have been a more Zen approach? Or where would the energy have been focused?
Well, I think it's like a basic is same. I have played with lots of teams, not only Buzzbirds and Fierce Joy, but also other teams, and I've coached other top teams or a national team, and all of the top players has like a strong desire, very strong desire to win. So I think that's the motivation to train hard, which sometimes not fun. So I think the Buzzbirds and Futures
training hard. Well, training hard, as you've known, coaching different teams and being a member of different teams. What separates different teams is the desire to win, put in the extra time. So you can see that. So what was that championship season like building up? I mean, can you give me an idea of inside that moment of the championship season leading up to the USA Nationals? Were they doing something different? Were they waking up at 6 as they usually wake up at 8? Were they getting together and having team meals? Can you give me an insight? What was that culture like? Well, if you can, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think so they practice twice a week. Well, twice a week, weekdays and Saturday and Sunday. So like 4 days a week, and then as a team, well, that's it, 4 times a week. But as an individual player, I think almost everybody trained like other 3 days. So
on their own.
Yeah, on their own. Yeah. When I saw the gym, like in the local gym, I always saw my teammate, which is great. Yeah, oh, you're training here. Okay, I'm training.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's encouraged to me.
So let's talk about the 2012 when you had Furious George or Team Canada versus Team Japan. I just want to touch on it because we were talking about it's a fascinating. If you've never seen this game, it's fascinating, and I encourage you because there's so. I would love to teach a master's class on this because it's big versus small. We talk about athleticism versus stature, nationalism, spirit of the game, whether you want observers or referees, composure versus stress. I mean, there's so many different things. And I've spoke to different people from Canada, outside, just to get general ideas. And my take was I was fascinated by it. I've watched it a number of times. So we talked a little about this. You were there, you watched the game, and you played in both cultures. There. What was your general feel of the development, how the game progressed to its, I don't want to almost like, spoiler alert, but it got heated. So what was your take of the game and the approach and the calls and what was transpiring?
Yeah, I think that the biggest factor is the lack of communication, which is hard for Japanese because of language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying which is right or which is bad, but obviously Team Canada shouldn't have done like those plays, like those dangerous plays. Yeah, of course. Well, they know it already. So, but anyway, why? If I think about why that happened, then the first thing kind of is a lack of communication. So, for example.
So let me ask you before you give an example. You were on the sideline watching this unfold. What was going through your mind? Was it just point by point and it's not a big deal? Because you have the luxury of watching on YouTube, watching it back and forth and over again. You were just sort of watching it unfold. What was your general take of it?
Well, that is, it's like kind of a mixed feeling, but I thought, I noticed how Team Canada feels that way because I understand English, and I played with them, so I know their energy, and then unfortunately their energy led them to wrong way, and so I thought Team Japan should have a play just as their game, no matter what Team Canada play, and then Team Japan actually did, and then they won the game.
Right, and that was interesting. So, from the outside world, I want to say the Western world, there was a level of outrage or concern. Mm-hmm. And you said from the Japanese standpoint, it was just another game and you moved on.
Right, at that time, because at the tournament, it's a pool play game. Mm-hmm. So they both
which made it even more fascinating. It was just a pool play game that way.
Well, but important pool play game.
Very much so.
Right?
Noted.
But but anyway, they had a next game. Mm-hmm. So I think they need to focus on the next game because it's the game was over and they cannot change the result of how they play anymore. So I think they just moved on that time.
So the intention is not to prosecute the game as much as just to use it as a cultural approach to that, mm-hmm. because games get heated. Mm-hmm. That's where spirit of the game comes in to discuss. Mm-hmm. And in that particular situation, you were saying that the Japanese don't. I mean, there was a lack of. So in a Japanese situation in a game, you discuss, or is it pretty much you make a call and the play goes back? Or is there discussion in a normal Japanese game?
That's a great question. So in Japan, there are not much discussion. So culturally, Japanese don't like discussion. So they even think like a discussion is kind of disrespectful, which is different.
So you want to respect the call. If you make a call, you respect it?
Yeah, so means, don't argue. Not arguing the call is a respect in Japan, but it's different from the culture here or North American culture. So, and also plus language barrier. So they cannot argue. They cannot argue in English.
In nuance.
In Japanese, they don't even argue very much. And then plus, they cannot argue in English at all. So then it means like at that time there almost no argument. So if like Team Canada called a foul, if Team Canada, Team Japan don't agree, they said contest, then they don't argue. They don't argue means they don't say what they are thinking.
Right.
They cannot say.
Right.
Also, they don't listen. They didn't listen to what Team Canada said.
Well, were they capable of listening? So here in
No,
Japan, so in Japan, would you have listened? Even if the language barrier wasn't there, and I make a call, do you even want to hear my explanation? Culturally, no.
Culturally,
Sounds like it.
Culturally,
Just-
not many.
right.
Yeah, just hey, no, I'm contesting. Hey, let's go back to the throw. So that's a kind of culture, and also, well, sometimes they listen if it's Japanese, but not often.
Mm-hmm.
But at that game, like nothing, right? Because of language plus cultural difference and communication, language barrier. And then immediately, Team Japan player immediately tried to move back the disc to the previous thrower.
Right.
And then same thing happened like a couple times.
Yeah.
And then I think Team Canada players took it like Team Japan players are not respecting disrespect because they don't listen to Team Canada players at all. Which is understanding. I think they understand now, but at the time they're like they have energy and passion to win the game. Yeah, try to win the game, and of course everybody get fired up, and then that happened.
I find it unique because you've had the benefit of being in both cultures. You were in a very unique position to see that unfold. Right. And so, what were your? I mean, going forward in that situation. Does Japan adapt their game? So they have a discussion? Maybe they know English more to have a discussion? Or does the world just go, look, we're just going to agree to disagree and just simply make black and white calls?
Oh,
there's a question there I'm trying to figure out there.
Well, Team Japan, since then, nobody wanted to have that kind of a game.
Why?
So, So, Team Japan felt the same way. So they've been trying to avoid the same situation. So they now always have like a interpreter. On the team, sometimes outside the team. So whenever call happened, interpreter came to the player and they translate the conversation.
That's great. That's good enough.
Which you can see the World Championship Final 2016, Team Japan against Team USA. There are some discussions, but you can see the interpreter stepped in to communicate, and then they some calls consisted back, some calls stayed, but they solved the calls like peacefully.
Right, and there was a discussion. So I noticed the interpreter, but I never had a layer of like, okay, that is some of the result of what happened. We're actually bringing an interpreter. So thank you for clarifying that. So you end up going after Canada. I think your Canada adventure. You went back to Japan.
Yeah.
You had a little. You played some club there, but so how do you play high level disc and then just like sort of stop?
Well,
you didn't go back to Buzz Bullets.
No. So I went back to Japan.
And Bob, thank you for talking about 2012. I'm making these odd segues, but yes.
Well, yeah. I went back to Japan because I met a beautiful girl, which is my wife now. Yeah. But anyway, I started.
Anyway, that's a good thing. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, I started my own company after I went back to Japan, and then it's a web designing company. It's still there, like starting my own company, my own business was so busy, and then I didn't have enough time to play for buzzwords, like not much time to commit like my whole life to the like buzzwords. So but I still play with one of the top teams in Japan at the time. So
So you had a stint in Japan, then you came back to the States. Your wife got transferred to the States, right?
Yeah.
She was education. She was
yes, school.
And then you went back to Japan. You were coaching. So I'm trying to go. So you go, then you go back to Japan, then you come back to San Diego, and then you come back.
Well, Portland first, and moved to San Francisco, and I played with mixed club team called Butter.
Butter, I know a few of those people.
Yeah,
right on.
and I moved to San Diego and played with Street Gang, number one club team in San Diego, and we made a nationals in 2010. And then I moved to Hawaii for 4 years.
To work on your tan and play Ultimate, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in Hawaii? Were you playing with a team there, or just?
Well, there are no club teams,
right.
but there are people playing Ultimate pickup almost every day, and also there are leagues in every season on the glass and on the beach. Yeah, which was nice, like playing Ultimate on the beautiful beach. Is
it Oahu you were on?
Yes,
Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah, they've got a nice community there. And so you coach the Japanese U20 national team.
Yes.
And so I want to go from there, and we want to step into AUDL. So talk to me how you got involved with coaching the national team. Because, I mean, you have to be, you were on somebody's radar to say, hey, we want you to coach it. How did that come about?
So, when I was in United States, I went back to Japan. I still go back to Japan like a couple of times a year, and then I had a business there, and also played Ultimate there. So plus I worked for Japan Flying Disc Association, which is the governing body for the translator or ultimate rule committee member. So I kind of work with them, and at one point the former Team Japan head coach didn't have time to coach U22 teams again, and then he recommended, he mentioned me to the committee member who decided the coaches. Right. So that's the start.
So was this your sort of foray, your initiation to coaching? You've probably coached at little levels. Was that your first bigger coaching gig?
Yeah, well, the first big coaching in my experience is 2008 actually, Team Japan mixed team in Vancouver, Canada, and we.
I didn't know that. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
we talked about that, but I didn't realize it was in Canada. That was in Japan. Okay. Good.
Yeah, so it's Vancouver, Canada, and we finished second. We made the final, and we lost to Canada at their home stadium, which is okay.
Sweet,
yeah,
still,
I mean, I think we made them look better.
Yeah, you were at the dance. That's good. Absolutely.
Wow.
So let's look down, because you ended up in 2015, 16, 17 with the Aviators.
Yeah, 16, 17.
So let's talk before we get to that. What's your approach to coaching? I mean, you've seen an arc of success in that you've dealt with youth.
Right.
You're dealing with a mixed club here. You've dealt with pro. What is your general take on coaching?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, from I learned from top players or top teams is first is the importance of the basic. They like top players often do like amazing thing, like amazing flick or amazing hammer, but like all of them has amazing basic skills, which it's not fascinating because it's normal, but like
that's a good word. It's not fascinating.
Yeah.
But it's critical to know the basics.
Yeah.
Right.
So I learned, and the second biggest thing is running. So no top players cannot run. Some top players, I'm not saying they cannot throw, but they don't have like excellent. Not everybody has excellent slowing skills, but every single top players can run. Maybe really fast, maybe really long time, or maybe like quick or different way. But anyway, like yeah, they can run.
So if you're teaching running, are you teaching them? Are you looking at different facets of the game that you want them to be able to run 5 miles on their own, as well as do ladders and wind sprints? What do you mean by running, and how do you get good at running in your definition?
Right. So yeah, running in ultimate game. Right. So it's not like a 26 miles for a marathon.
Right.
But it's like a more short distance, short sprint, and repetition, and changing direction, and intervals. That's the important running skills for ultimate, I think.
So when you're putting your team together and buying Vampire Ultimate, are you going to be working on cutting intervals? That's something that you're going to institute?
Yep. So yeah, I'm coaching and also playing with the Vampire Ultimate, which is a brand new team in San Francisco.
I thought I'd give you a shameless plug for that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a developing team, but I'm excited to help the team with my experience and knowledge.
So how do you, if that's the baseline thing you're going to teach anyone at any particular level, you want them to be able to learn how to run. Is this what you instituted when you're dealing with the mixed and the U20? You started
so like a bottom line, like a base is like almost the same.
Right.
Because especially U20 Team Japan is young team, young players, so they it's important for them to learn the basic because they have a long future for if they keep playing, right? So if you start is long, different way, and then it doesn't go right direction. So the base is different. So I emphasize that like many times, and basic things, which is basic skills and running.
So let's move up. We're dealing with the youth. Now you're with the AUDL. So talk about the Aviators. How did that happen in your career? Where were you in your career when that happened? I think you said you were trying out for the team too. So you were still growing. You were still becoming.
Yeah, I'm trying to. to improve myself. But yeah, well, I think I'm doing this forever, like until I die.
I
But
love
anyway,
it. Absolutely.
yeah. But anyway, so I moved to Los Angeles in 2015 in fall, and then next year, 2016, in January, I attended the Aviators tryout because I wanted to play with a team as a player, and they didn't give me a spot as a player, but after the tryout, they contacted me and then asked me to help the team as an assistant coach. So
That must have been flattering. That must have been a nice phone call to get.
Yeah. Well, it's an email. Well, it's kind of a mix of feeling because they in the same email they said they didn't give me a spot for the player.
Well,
yeah. Well, so first sentence. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's okay. And then I got.
Sure.
Yeah, after the second half,
Sure.
and but they
value.
yes,
Your
okay,
value.
yeah,
Your
so
value. Yes, that's fun. Yeah.
so it was it was an honor. So
That's so fun. Very bittersweet. So, what were you able to contribute? What did they want you to contribute? Because they saw value in your insight and experience.
Yeah.
What was that communication to try to figure out? Okay, what is my role? Did they tell you besides they want you to be a coach?
Yeah, well, they didn't tell me what they wanted me to do in the beginning, but they mentioned they wanted me to help with my long experience and their knowledge from their playing with or coaching different teams or not in top level, like a national level. And so I joined the practice with this head coaches, some other assistant coaches, and we talk about how to get a better team, and then one thing I talk about to them is the basic skills, like throwing skills. The Aviators had amazing athletes at the time, but there are some rules to improve their throwing skills. Yeah, well, they're pro players, so they already have like a great throwing skills. But you think about they are playing a pro league, like an opponent has the same thing, or maybe more like or better. So to use their athleticism, I think they need to improve their basic throwing skills.
So how do you take? This is what intrigues me is how do you take somebody who's already skilled? Mm-hmm. They in their mind they're already there. They're pro. Right. What do you do to fine tune a good player or make that good player better, or a pro player an exceptional pro player? What are some of the approaches?
Well, there are not there's not like a one thing, like a fix everything, sure. But also it's not a big thing. But I'm just supporting the players who already have great skills at that time, especially pro level. So yeah, giving some idea or giving some just input to them. Yeah, that's what I did. Also, I talked with other coaches. Then we, I think we other coaches sort of kind of same thing. They thought of the basic throwing skill is important. So we kind of created like a throwing doors, not completely new. It's basically static throwing doors, but with some prescription so that players can focus on a specific thing.
To that player, fine-tuning.
Not a specific player, like a specific thing in general, but yeah. For example, hey, let's throw as quickly as possible to the receiver. So do it 1 minute, and let's move on next thing, something like that. And there are multiple point. Yeah.
So that's sort of the stuff I'm trying to extract on it. But thank you. So last year's Aviators was very. I mean, I work with the Spiders and the Flamethrowers last year, and when the Aviators came in my mind, it was an easy win. As the season progressed, you were very exciting. Aviators were very exciting to watch, and I think a number of teams probably took the Aviators for granted, and the Aviators came in and played. They thrived on the road. So what was it just simply the gelling of the team that made them so good, or was it the scouting that improved them? But they really came together to a really exciting team.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much the scouting.
He was a scout.
Yeah. Well, that's my kind of role. Not only me, but I did a lot for the scouting. I don't know how much it helped to the team, but I think it helped some. And I think the biggest one of the biggest advantage of the Aviators is their core roster played almost every single game, which is
that can make a big difference.
Which makes a difference, and which it's not happening to all the teams.
True.
So because of the lots of reasons.
Yeah.
So,
no, that makes a big difference. They were very exciting to watch. I saw you when I was pre-interviewing Antoine Davis, and that game was that really freak, that deep throw that got macked a couple times to the end zone. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was an amazing one. Just sort of threw that out there.
Yeah.
Going. That was a very interesting game, a very cool game. So let's change gears a little bit. So let me tell you, what's your takeaway, because you dealt with the Pro League? What's your observation? Because you've seen a lot of different Ultimate. What intrigued you about the Pro League?
Pro League?
Yeah. What did you like about the AUDL and Professional Ultimate?
I think that's great to promote. Great opportunity to promote our Ultimate, because it's in the stadium with DJ. Because I always hesitate, and also it's close to the city. It's happening close to the city, and it's hard to invite my non-Ultimate Frisbee friends to the game because of multiple reasons. Like the tournament is happening far away from the city. Usually, while I was playing, it's in Sarasota, Florida, which is a nice place. But
Exactly.
I cannot invite
Good point.
friends from Vancouver, Canada. Right. But also, even the people live there, hey, I'm playing there, and if they came to the tournament, it's just there are a massive green field, and hundreds of people playing Ultimate everywhere, and they cannot. They are having hard time to find my game,
Exactly.
right? But Ultimate, like AUDL is great because, hey, I'm coaching the Aviators. It's in the stadium of in the Los Angeles, and well, it costs, but it's $10 or
This is nominal.
$15, right?
It's
So
really
yeah, if you have time, please. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So I think it's great.
So what do you think about the referees? Because we're talking about the spirit of the game. You've got observers now.
Right.
How do you feel about the referees?
I think the referee helped get games going smoothly, which is very good for fans. Because players, well, some players that like to discuss, and because they're calling their opinion, right? They are stating their opinion.
Right.
They try to convince the other players. They don't mind convincing, arguing like 1 minute or 5 minutes. But well, fans does understand that.
Right.
So I think the referee helped and also some people concerned the referee take the away spirit of the game from the game, but it's not true because the AUDL has an integrity rule which the player overturn the referee
Integrity
call.
rule, exactly. Yes.
So
And that's a nice feature that that adds some continuity from spirit of the game, where the spirit of the game still lies within the sport. But it sounds like, based on our earlier conversation about the Japanese culture and their lack of conversation, that a referee is just sort of a natural continuity. They make the call, there's a little minimal debate, and it just goes back. So it sounds like you would be even comfortable with refs versus. I'm giving a general opinion. I might be.
yeah,
wrong.
well, I think Japanese player understand referee as well too, but well, they're like well, almost like other almost like other ultimate players, Japanese ultimate players like a big like fan of the spirit of the game and self-officiating. So I'm not sure that they can understand the whole thing right away.
Sure.
But I think that culturally, I think it will fit well.
Well, thank you. I didn't mean to pitch you in the corner. I'm just trying to get your opinion. So before we run out of time, let's talk about Club Junior.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, so
thank you for asking.
Yeah, very much so. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm.
What is Club Junior?
Yeah. So I'm working for Club Junior for like 7 years, and Club Junior is the biggest ultimate frisbee company in Japan, and I'm the representative in the United States and head of Club Junior USA. So we sell like almost any kind of ultimate gear, discs or I had some
Shameless plug time.
Oops, yeah. Okay. Oops. Yeah, like our own gloves. Yeah, which is nice. And socks or hats, and also we make jerseys for the teams in the United States or North America. So yeah.
So if someone wants to have a jersey made or buy socks or clubs, how do they get a hold of you? How do they
Yes,
find out?
please check out clubjunior.usa.com, clubjrusa.com, and then there's an online store and they have a contact information.
Fantastic.
So yeah, please let me know if you're interested.
So before we wrap up, I just want to say you're going to Worlds with like how many teams? A mixed, a Grand Masters team, and like an Argentinian team.
Well,
yeah.
So I'm playing with Venezuelan mixed team in World Ultimate Club Championship in Ohio this June. And then a week later, there is a World Masters Championship, World Club Masters, or Masters Club, I don't know, but championship in Winnipeg, Canada. And then I'm playing with Shadows, which is
Grandmasters.
yeah, Grandmaster team in Bay Area. So I will be very busy.
Loving the sport.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm jealous. This guy's playing high level and he's in demand all over the place. So that's terrific. So is there anything else you want to say?
No, yeah, I think well, thank you very much for listening, and ありがとうございます。日本の方で聞いていただいている方がいたら。
ありがとうございます down. And arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu. Am I right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
So Japan, I want to thank you.
Yeah.
Sat, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
We've got Slap coming down. We've got Jen Thomas and a couple shows. We're going to be chatting about their world in a couple weeks. But I want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're here, we got the fans here. We're here at Sports Basement here in Berkeley. I want to thank them for allowing us to use the community space. We'll see you down the road. Thank you. Take care.